And I'll admit, when I see that picture of the little Mussolini chart poster with his little face on it, that's hard. That looks cool. I'm gonna put a picture up right here.
I have no idea what.
It's cool. It looks like some 1984 stuff because in the past, like 100 years ago, you could be overt about it. You'd be like, "Yeah, we're fascists. We're gonna control you. You can't do shit about it. Suck a dick." You know what I mean? But now it's like subversive. It's like weird. It's like because we can live here, we can live in a beautiful state like Delaware. Like you can go to the Lumps Pond, you can relax, go camping. You live a normal life relatively as it seems, but if at any moment you do something out of the ordinary or something, or you start talking about something, or if something happens that the government don't like, it could turn into 1984 in 2 seconds. But on the surface level outside, we're in this kind of beautiful world, and I love America and everything, but I feel like we're stepping into an age that's more subversive and boring. I mean, I kind of think about this. People kind of talk about World War III like it's like a movie and it's gonna happen, but we're stepping into this kind of slow, boring aeon, and it's not the age we're going in, the future we're going in is a very kind of slow process, and you won't even notice it, and then when it's there, it's like, oh, can't go back. That's where I think we're headed. But anyways,
yeah, no, that's exactly how it's been. Once it's there, you can't go back. That's the same with the settlements. That's the excuse of the settlements now. You can't reverse nature. You can't reverse growth. You can't reverse people having families. Of course, it became 350 villages on West Bank soil and Gaza soil. Of course, it became 350 in a town. Think of 350 villages in Delaware. Think of how many 350 additional towns just put here.
With the people that aren't from here.
Right. Just, there you go.
Claiming it's
yours. It's theirs. It's theirs.
Yeah.
350 towns.
From Jersey.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
How would that feel? How would the farmers in Southern Delaware
I would become a suicide bomber, You know what I mean? Sign up for the whole thing, yeah.
And that has always been the very first precondition, and that has never been discussed, because that is always couched in the language of, in order to keep Israel safe, it has to be wider. It's only 9 miles wide at one point, according to 1968.
Yeah, I mean, no, if that happened in Delaware, I'd become a suicide bomber. I mean, people kind of like they can't put themselves in the shoes of people. I mean, it's like, the Israeli government that they have there. I mean, even though I don't agree with the whole concept of Zionism, there has been administrations that have sought peace and have tried to just be normal kind of countries and administrations. But when they even go like a rather moderate route, like, it's not enough for me personally. Even when they go that route, that is a little bit enough for, people that are, freedom oriented. Their own prime minister gets assassinated by terrorists in the 90s. I forget his name. But, picture right there. Yeah, it's like they got assassinated. And the current person who's in Netanyahu's administration is on record doing a street interview as he got assassinated. And after he got assassinated, and the dude that's one of the like secretary of something in Netanyahu's cabinet was like, he's like 20 years old, and he's like, yeah, I think he should have got killed. I don't care. Fuck him. You wanted peace with the Palestinians? Fuck off. So it's like, come on. I forget his name. His name's like Ben Gvir, the one dude that like let me figure out his name.
I don't know who the president was in the 90s or whatever.
Itmar Ben Gvir is the far right politician, Minister of National Security.
Michael, it's okay though, because the whole point that
Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated, former prime minister, good dude. Try to seek peace. Continue. Sorry.
Netanyahu says that the legislative branch needs to review the guidelines every year, so they can determine when enough is enough and when it's gone too far towards the curtailing of these freedoms of speeches. Because here in America, evidently, these freedoms of speech and arms are given by the government and need to be controlled by the government and only issued essentially.
Let's leave it quote.
Refuse to transfer any funds to PLO. Well, I thought they were given the actual responsibility of controlling their own land according to the Oslo Accords. So how are we not supposed to support that? That's what they're supposed to. Like, they were given responsibility for it, but you can't give them funding, and you can't let their police actually control anything. I propose that laws of, okay, here we go. Rather, I propose that the laws of every free society must be such as to permit the security services to move against groups which incite to violence against the country's government or its citizens.
Yes. Okay.
If the law does not allow a government to sift through the extremist splinters associating violence in order to identify which groups are actively planning terrorist actions and shut them down before they strike, then the law is insufficient. So there goes innocent until proven guilty, right?
Jesus, man.
He talks about owning a machine gun. Owning a gun is okay for self-defense. Owning a machine gun leads to armies, so we can't have machine guns. Familiarity with terrorism and its complete rejection should create a citizenry which is capable of living with terror. Not in the sense of accepting terror, but rather in the sense of understanding what is needed for society to survive its attacks with the least amount of damage.
What does that mean? What the fuck? Oh.
Terrorism has the unfortunate quality of expanding to fill the vacuum left to it by passivity or weakness. And it shrinks accordingly when confronted with resolute and decisive action.
Oh, God, dude.
Educate the public.
This is terrible. This is it's like the machine gun thing. It's like, I mean, you really think about it. Netanyahu's worked with blue and red administration.
Undoubtedly, the leaders of the United States in particular could be subjected to a barrage of criticism that they are curtailing civil freedoms. Oh, it was civil freedoms. Those weren't rights. Inalienable rights that you were born with. There's civil freedoms given to you by the government. Civil freedoms, and that they are overreacting. They should reject this criticism, responding as has the Supreme Court of the United States, that, quote, it is obvious and unarguable that no governmental interest is more compelling than the security of the nation, and this includes unlimited civil liberties.
Oh.
So those are civil liberties, Michael.
Those
aren't rights. They're not given you by God. They're not given you. They're not inalienable rights that you were born with. They're civil liberties provided by the government. Here you go. You can have a gun, not a machine gun. You can say certain things. Definitely don't criticize what we're doing in the name of our future energy prospects. Because honestly, we just need to, paint it black and white for you, and not let you hear the other side in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't speak to the root of it, doesn't speak to what the terrorist demands are, doesn't speak to what anything. It just speaks to this idea that there are puddles of terrorists all over the place, and that we need mass surveillance, and we need to make sure that the U.S. Congress pulls through with it to lead the entire rest of the world in this mass surveillance to make sure that we can root out potential enemies before they strike. 95, man. 95.
Yeah, it's basically laying the groundwork. I mean, that's one thing.
I'm sorry, the World Trade bombing, Timothy McVeigh, and there was another bombing at
Oklahoma.
Right.
Well, that was our domestic. That was rather domestic. And there's an FBI. There's a theory that an FBI agent that is alive right now was the one that did it. That it was. And then there's more information about that I don't know about, but that was sketchy. I
only speak to what has been written in that book and what I've seen personally. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust much of the. I'm not willing to go into stuff that, I don't know about that sort of thing, but I can very easily follow some breadcrumbs.
With
to how
it's like sketchy. Why
the U.S. policy changed with the Patriot Act, and why U.S. I mean, I can remember. I'm old enough to remember the mid '90s that were awesome. Like, Clinton was going to help reduce the deficit. Like we were running a surplus, like music was awesome. Like I remember, and it's sad that then I thought, I think the rest of us kind of thought like these are horrible. But then driving to class one day in September, and I'm going, what's this World Trade Center thingy in New York? What's that have to do with anything?
Yeah.